Okay, so for tonight, for transaction review and calculator practice, right here we are, February of 2016. The year's just zipping by already. I wanted to go over a note deal, and then just do some calculations to see how I could make this note better. First, I'm going to bring up the slide that I got. I screen captured this. I have a note sellers. For people who want to sell their note, I have a form online at my notequeen.com site where they can enter the information about their note that they want to sell. And so this is a screen cap of the information that came in. This is someone receiving payments on a note, not a note finder, note broker. And that's a lot of times I really like that, unless I have a very competent broker that I've worked with before. I just really like working with the principals. That way it's not a big waste of time. We get to down to business and know what we can count on from each other. It's a commercial property. Okay, that's one thing. Where is it located? Susanville, California. I like that in particular because that's only, a lot of the notes that I buy are just really far away from me, and I would never in a million years be visiting the collateral myself. In most cases, this is only an hour and a half north of me where I am in the Reno Tahoe area. It is a 1 acre commercial property with a freeway view. She didn't tell me a lot about the building itself. It currently has a veterinary practice. This guy has been a vet for 30 years, or the vet practice has been there for 30 years. So that's great. Super long history, obviously successful if they're still there after 30 years. Also has a double wide mobile home park. I think she just means mobile home, and large animal corrals and chutes, obviously part of the vet business. Okay, how much did you sell the property for? She says 150,000. Okay, and what was the buyer's down payment? So 50,000 cash plus money for services rendered. So he paid obviously some money, and we'll see how that calculates out here. So what was the original balance of the note? 83,000. So obviously if it's 150 and they put down 50, we would expect the note to be 100, but this is the plus money for services rendered, I guess. And I'll tell you the backstory in a second, and which I didn't know obviously until I called her, which I did right away when I saw this. So anyway, I know that here's the note. The interest rate is 4%, pretty low. Even for a single family, this is low. This is definitely low for commercial. But there again, he did put a good down payment that was for the business and property. That was a 33%. So pretty respectable. How many years? 180. That's pretty long. Most commercial paper is a lot shorter, has a balloon or, some sort of um, movable, adjustable feature to it. So what's the monthly payment? She put in 628.28. We'll look at that later. When she received the first payment, she's already received almost 2 years of payments. That's a nice seasoning. The note has been seasoned for almost 2 years. Perfect payment history. Good credit, so that's great. 700 plus credit is a real bonus, and he has established practices. He's successfully running, never missed or been late with a payment. It's not a mortgage, it's a deed of trust, but that's okay. So this is what I'm going off, and then I called her to just chat. Okay, so that's that part. So when I talked to her, and this is Kanisha, since you're on the phone, you will remember this when we were talking about the virtual coffee last Saturday or the Saturday before. I was talking about this deal and I didn't end up getting it. So apparently, she didn't return my call. So what I'm assuming is the vet actually came up with cash to pay off the note or at least match the price that I was offering for the note, which is great for him. Good. Then he has, he got the benefit of the discount and, hopefully that's really great for his business. So it's not like it's sad. Of course, I always like to have an investment that I would have been happy to have, but I'm really happy that this vet came up with the money. So this is sort of an exercise of what if not I actually did not get this note unless the guy said he was, there's always a possibility that that he thinks he's getting the money together and then something falls through and then she's going to call me back. I know she will because we connected really well. One thing, just when you're just a real person, when you're just, it's so important just to connect as someone that people can relate to. A lot of people that have a note to sell that aren't, in this business per se, they're pretty nervous. And because most of these people have never sold a note, they don't know what's out there, what the process is like. They don't know who to trust. Unfortunately, in the financial services and real estate business, there can be a lot of shady characters or some, daisy chain. So anyway, she's just really stressed out because here's the situation. Her dad was the one that established this vet practice in that building and sold it to this younger guy who's taking over the practice. But her dad, like all of a sudden, his mental capacity just went to the toilet, and he,
Mhm.
like just like within 2 weeks, he became someone who needed to be put in a home, very high intensity. You know,
Mhm.
eh, what do you remember what I said exactly? Some sort of dementia or
Uh,
thing, but he
I
was
think it was
actually
like
crazy.
really, really um rapid onset dementia or something like
Right,
that.
and he was
Yes,
very
yes.
not only just forgetful, but he was actually very hostile. Like, and
Right.
so he's going to need really a lot of intense
He needs a lot of care.
oversight, right? And so they can't afford that, even though he had some assets. But so to get Medicare to cover it, they had to take whatever assets, and this note being
Mhm.
one of them, and what do they call it? I keep spend it down. So sell the
Yes, they
asset.
have. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
sell
That's
sell
what
the
my mom
asset.
told me. I talked to her about it. I talked
Mhm.
to my mom about that. Remember, I told you she works in
Mhm.
a. My mother actually works in more of an independent living kind of place.
Uh-huh.
They have some residents that are maybe starting to get these issues and they have caretakers come, but the facility itself is just for independent living. Like if you reach, 55 and you don't feel like owning a single family home anymore, you just
Right.
want to downsize and go to this thing, you can still have your assets. But those who need to, like this family, they need to spend down so they can qualify for the Medicare, because that my mom even said that. She said that level of care would deplete him financially. It
Yeah,
would.
there's
And
just no
so
way.
there's no way they would be able to afford that and he still have money to live off of. So no matter how successful, he may have been, but she said from her experience, they're doing the right thing. And that does have to happen at times. So I told her also that I would make sure that she has just a little something for you if she has any other residents that are approaching that situation and they need that kind of help. Because, like you said, that is scary anyway, just the whole thing of it anyway. And then to think about, oh my God, if I was the child or, the daughter, what would I do?
Right.
And to have somebody that you can trust is definitely is golden. So, I did let my mom know about you and she's like, okay, great, just give me whatever information that you need me to have for her and meaning you.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, well, if you have anybody, just let me know and I'll make sure they have
Yeah,
the
whether it's
appropriate
note,
contact
yeah, a
information.
note or real estate, and then you're my
Mhm.
obvious joint venture partner on that if a lead comes through your mom
Yay.
because you've been wanting to get involved anyway, right? Pull the trigger, and
Yeah.
sometimes
Oh my
sometimes it
God.
it just takes like someone just working with you or over your shoulder the first time or two, and then you're off and
Mhm.
running and you broke gravity, right? But yeah, so just
Yeah.
back to the point of just connecting with her as a human being, and
Mhm.
the fact that I was a nurse really helps because I can relate to lots of issues, and then people um, naturally trust that I am a good person. I mean, whether that's true or not, just because I was a nurse, I guess it's sort of suspicious in that direction, that I might actually be a helpful type of personality. And that is
Right.
what people are so thirsty for, because she says, I Googled a little bit and I put the note here, and she says, I'm so overwhelmed. And one guy said
Mhm.
he would pay me this, and then he'd pay me this, and I just don't know who to trust. And they just want a little bit of solid guidance. And if someone, says, if I can't help them, I just tell them, it's like,
Yeah.
here's a better deal for you. And like just yesterday on a different deal, I was talking to someone. I said, you should not be selling this note. This is ridiculous. That's not even the right thing to do. And you even know it. And she goes, yeah, you're right. You know, so,
Mm.
and she goes, if I ever come across anything, and she's in the real estate business, but had no
Oh
idea
my
about,
God, how
notes. She
perfect.
says, I will definitely keep your number, because, I really have been, anyway. So this gal had been really freaked out about weird phone calls and unpredictable offers and changing offers, and she's trying to do the right thing. She says, I want to honor my dad, that he should get, she's trying, sell it for the highest possible price. She's not trying to gyp the system, which I respect. Uh,
Right.
but then, so anyway, I'm just saying the importance of connecting to people on a human level, because, and even if you think you're giving away business, you're not. It always comes back to you in spades when you're just someone that people can trust. Because I get referrals all
Exactly.
the time, personal referrals from people I don't even. They say, "Well, I said, how did you find out about it?" Well, so and so. Well, I don't even know who that person is. It's just that they
Right.
had a really good experience somehow, or what had listened to me speak, or listened to my videos, or somebody said good things, about me on some online forum. So you just can't underestimate how valuable that is. And just to be the kind of person, you put yourself in the shoes of the person on the other side. You just have to have that empathy, in my mind, to, um, it just makes you stand. It's so easy to stand out when you're just a basically good person who says the truth, and you do what you say when you say you're going to do it. Pretty simple. And
Yeah.
then I
Yeah,
stand out. It's
absolutely.
like silly that I stand out just for those reasons, but um, so enough said about that. So obviously, since she didn't come back around, the guy came up with the money, at least what I would was offering, which was, I think I said 45, 44, 45, in that range.
Mhm.
Over the phone to her. So he must have come up with at least that much money, or been able to refinance, completely, and it was a better deal for him anyway. I don't know. I really don't
Okay.
know. I'd be
Okay.
curious. I would really be curious.
Yeah, now I'm curious, but I'm glad that she was able to get it done, and I understand that, trying to honor her father, of course, and make sure that she gets the help. So
Right. And
that's
then obviously giving the first right of refusal to the guy who bought the business and has helped, her dad out.
yeah.
Obviously that makes sense. If he can,
Mhm.
get the benefit of the discount, good for him.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
we had, so here's where that extra number, the guy that bought the business, actually, he did some sort of help. I don't know if he lent the money, or he covered expenses, or bailed them out in some way during this crisis, health crisis, that
Mhm.
they're dealing with. So that's where why the note is only 83 468,
Oh,
83,
he might have had to take over the patients.
something like that. Yeah. So I'm going to put this.
Mhm.
So this is the balance. I'm just trying to recreate the note. 83. That's the first thing I do, because, that note submission sheet, people think they have a certain thing, but if the numbers don't make sense, then I know where to ask my questions.
Okay.
And a normal person frequently can have a little bit of error here, and it's fine, right? I get it. But like when someone who says they're in the note business, and they don't check the numbers and see if they even make sense, or if they don't
Mhm.
explain why, it's really irritating. Then I know I'm dealing with somebody who doesn't know what the heck they're doing. Most likely they're going to be a
Right.
waste of my time. So for those people who want to broker notes, you really, the least you can do is recreate the note and make sure the numbers make sense. And if they don't, find out why before you submit it. So just a word
Okay.
on that. So I put in PV, present value, otherwise known as loan amount in this situation. I put in 4%. That's the face rate on the note. And the term is 15 years. So 15 times 12 is 180. And then I solve for the payment. Now, I only come up, my calculator says 617.40. But somehow when they were coming up with it, they got
Hmm.
628.28. So I don't know why that is. Whether, some people have their calculators set at different points. They might have it at a different setting, like front end versus back end. Payments, or they might have misused an online calculator somehow. I don't know why. All I know is I would expect the payment to be this for a full 180M, but the note payment was written at this. And I don't know if
Hmm.
it doesn't even make sense. It's not like an even number for, oh, well, that's
Yeah.
for a servicing fee or something. It doesn't make sense, but anyhow. And so I'm just showing the difference between what they sometimes put and then what you figure. So, and she said, well, there's 23 payments have come in. So 180 minus 23, at the face, before I did all my calculations, I said, okay, there's 57 payments left.
Okay.
And then I was trying to figure out, okay, well, what would I pay for this note? I gave her a quote like within an hour or two, just a basic, subject to due diligence and everything being like you said. So my max ITV on a commercial is 50%. And the appraisal on the building alone without the business was 89,000. So I before I even care about yield, I figure out risk. So my risk.
Hmm.
And I'm more conservative on commercial. I like being 50 or 100 on everything if I could. Can't always do that, but especially on commercial, I don't like being in more than 50%. I mean, sometimes squeak up to 55, but that's what I'm shooting for. So here, oops, here's the value of the appraisal and divide by 2 or times zero point 0.5. That gives me my max ITV, the maximum investment to value. It's not like I'm making a loan. We're used to loan to value. And I know you
Right.
know this, Kanisha, because you're in the business of working at a
Hmm.
credit union. But a lot of people, they're still getting used to the lingo. So bear with me there.
Okay.
So that's the most I'm going to pay. That's it. So let me just see if my max ITV, what the yield turns out to be. So then she said there's 157 payments left. So that's my N or term number of payments left of this, but it's not really this, right?
Right. Right.
At first,
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's this, right? At first, I'm thinking it's this. I put that as a negative number. I put these two in as negatives all the time and these three number in as positive just because that's my habit. But all you have to
Okay.
do is have this could be negative and this could be positive, but you have to have this is money out of my pocket. This is money in my pocket. So some people put this as a negative and this as a positive. But for me, my habit is these are always negative numbers and these are positive
Okay.
numbers. And I know in my mind what I'm doing, so, but,
Okay. Okay.
so just FYI, and this, do you have this calculator? Do you know this company? The
Now,
10B,
who is that?
the end of day development.
I was actually going to ask you who that was. I can
Yeah.
get
So
that.
let me show you really quick. Let me bring up there. Where do I? Okay, so just it. I'm gonna just show you the site. Um,
Okay.
okay, links to resources. This is the old site, but it's still up. Links to resources right here, and then here's like a lot of stuff. And if you find a really good vendor or thing, I will add it in here. Anyone in the
Okay.
in the group, but HP 10B2 calculators. I like this iPad and iPhone version, desktop Mac version, which I'm using right now for purposes of doing this. I use my one on my phone all the time. And I can even,
Okay.
I can even just, I can be on the phone and pull up my calculator and give someone a ballpark quote, and I just love it. Because
Okay.
so it's a really good investment. And what I was gonna say is they have a lot of great tutorials as well
Good.
that are super super helpful. So I would highly recommend these people. So
Okay.
that's how to find that. Um, so I'm assuming there's 157 before I do everything of 157 of these payments to come in, and I'm going to put this much out. That's the most I'm going to put out. And now and there's no future value because there's no balloon. It's going to fully amortize, be fully killed in the next 157 months. So that
Okay.
stays at zero. So now I want to solve for what's the yield if I buy it for my max ITV. Let me push. Okay, 14.31. Okay,
Hmm.
you know what? I can deal with that. I can deal with 14% on something that feels relatively secure. And um, what I know about that is because then I go, well, I have to figure out, well, what can I sell it for? Just like the banks, before they write a loan, they want to know what the secondary market will buy because they don't
Oh
most,
yeah.
right? They don't buy it and hold it in portfolio very often. There's
Mm-mm.
a few of
And
those.
we're starting not to either. Like we are
You're,
completely deplete. As soon as it's come in, come out
Yeah,
immediately.
so you know what you're going to sell it for before you even write it. And that's what
Yeah.
I do when I'm figuring out is this deal, what does it take to make this deal worth me pushing the paperwork? Now, obviously, I can't bring the investor in to have any more money than this because to me, I don't want him to be in it, my investor partner to be in more than this. So it's not like I can say, "Oh, well, give me an extra 2,500 on top of this." No, because then that I don't like them being higher than that. So there, I
Yeah.
can't take money out front. There's no room to take money out front, but I can participate in the cash flow because I have people that be super happy on a commercial deal at 10%. So if I put in 10% here and then I calculate how much of a monthly payment would they need. So I calculate for that. They would need 509.20 a month. So if I take
Mhm.
what I'm getting in, 628.28 from the vet and minus what my investor needs, that gives me passive without any money out of my pocket, I get 119.08. 119.08 times 12 is for doing nothing except just putting it together. I can make $1,400 a year for the next 13 years. And I do it, and I'm happy with this. I'm super happy with it,
That's cool. Me
right?
too.
So if I do this enough times, can you see that I don't have to make a killing on every deal? Where
Thank you.
this, it's just like one step, one foot in front of the other, and just a little more passive income than I had last month, and I'm good with that. So I
That's
know,
great.
yes. So I know that I'm real happy with that. Um, and then I wanted to show you, then I put the deal together and go, wait a minute. Remember I said the payment shouldn't be 628.28. So I go, let me throw it into T value. I don't know if you've heard of T value. It's a PC.
Yeah, I'm a little bit,
It
still
costs
kind of learning
like
that part of
$150 or something, and it's a PC only program. But I use it all the time. And so I threw the numbers in there to see, well, this is the loan amount, and I threw it in at 4%. Can you see this okay? Is it big enough?
it. Yeah.
Okay, so I threw it, it's 4%. On March 1st, 2014, she made a loan of 83,486, but starting April, the payment was this. And so then I just put in 180, and then obviously it was overpaying. So then I would just manipulate it until I got to zero. So I figured out that there's only 175 plus one last payment of 479. So basically, I'm going to ignore this. I'm just going to say, well, the guy pretty much saved himself 5 payments for paying $11 more or whatever per month. So that makes me just adjust my numbers. So I go, um, okay, he's made 23 payments. So I can see there's 23 payments here. And then I can see the UPB, the unpaid principal balance is 75
Mhm.
117. So basically my offer is $30,000 discount. It's a big discount. for a lot of people, but it's the low interest rate and the long term that really
Mhm.
hurt that. But if he could get it, if he could pull 45,000 together, isn't that great? He just got to
That's
pull, he
cool.
got to knock off 30,000 of his mortgage, which is
His
really cool.
note. That's awesome.
Right. So then, by the time I get down here, so then I got to figure out how many payments really are left, and I can just make sure my numbers still work once I figured that out. So, what did I say? 175 left. I'm, like I said, just
Mhm.
ignoring that last one, minus what already have come in, 23. So I really only have 152 payments coming in.
152. Okay.
And that's at 628.28. So that's the number, that's the payment coming in this many times, and that's my max ITV. Now let me calculate for yield. It didn't drop that much, right? Still above 14%, so I'm not going to change my pricing for
Okay.
that, right? It just means that, my investor needs a little bit more, with this. So if I put in 10% here, now they need 517.38 a month. So that drops me down what, $10?
And yeah,
Not even 10, $8 something.
$8 and some
But so
change.
that's not going to break my deal, right? So I go, okay, no problem. I don't care. I'm not
That's
gonna.
cool.
So that's how I'm looking at it. And then, before we end up, and these are usually just 30-minute sessions, just quick and fast, but I just wanted to figure out, remember, I was going, what if I did end up with a note, but I still wanted to make a good deal for the vet? Because obviously the daughter really appreciated his help and wanted him to have a good deal. So I go, I bet I can still make him a good deal and then increase my yield. So that's what I wanted to do, just a couple of like what ifs here. So
Mhm.
here's what we have left. His present value of the loan amount is 75,114.56. That's how much money I'm looking at it from his perspective now.
Mhm.
Let's
Mhm.
see if this still makes sense. He's got 100, wait, 152. Yeah, we're pretty close because remember there's that extra $400 at the end. So
Right.
let's just 0.28. Okay. So it's a little bit more. All right. So what if I dropped his, what if I left, I'm just trying to figure out, what if I left, um, I left the UPB alone, but I dropped his interest rate to 2%. Um, and he could do it in 84 months. What would his payment be? Okay, so if he could afford this, I wonder what I would like. So, I mean, if that would work for me. So, if he could take what he owed and, oops, I'm just going to type this in. Hey, come over here. Okay, so if I drop his interest rate to 2% for 84 months and his payment is, what did I say that is? 959.02.
959.02.
Okay, so if I have that, I wonder what it would do with my yield if I change that for him. And I paid 44.5. And this is just how I just trial and error everything. So if I paid 44.5 for this note instead, and it drops his interest rate, what would my yield be? Yay, look at that. It would be almost 19%. So that would be
Wow.
better for me and better for him.
And better for him. Yep.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So then, for my PV of 44.5, my yield is 18 something, almost 19%. Okay, so I would just put a smiley face for that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing is, what if I took the UPB and let me put it back in? What happens if I did it another way? 156, and I left the interest rate alone. And what did we say, 152? I'm just trying to put it back the way it was a little bit. Okay, negative number there. Okay, that's basically what he has left so far-ish. Yeah, that. Okay, so what if I knocked off $10,000? What if I say, look, I'm going to knock off 65,000 if you can pay, and leave it there. But if you can pay $1,000 a month for the next, and now I'm going to solve for how many times. So that's for just over 6 years, right? I'm going to do that for you. Interest rate stays the same. If I knocked off 10,000 in exchange for you coming up on your payment, 375 or so, and let's just, now that would be a good deal for him too, right?
Yeah, it would.
Right? He should feel good about that. So now let's,
great.
Yeah, so let's see what happens to the yield if I do that. Sheesh. So either way, can you see there's so many ways that I could do good for myself and for him, right? So there's a bajillion ways to just carve it up. But like if I would end up with this note, this is exactly what I would do. So I would do something that, I bought it at a yield, and if it stays exactly the same, that's fine. I can live with that. But I can actually increase my yield by 3 or 4 points. And then what if I brought in someone at 10% on that? Then I'm getting almost $200 a month positive cash flow, right? So
wow,
more money sooner, better, right? So so everybody gets happy. So anyway, that's just one example of something that I lost or may come back around yet. Just depends on if money comes through. But I thought I wanted to do it in public, just like say, I wonder how, if I got this, what I would do. And it would be something really similar to this. So as long as he can afford the main thing is he has to be able to afford a higher payment, because more money sooner is better. So I can even reduce his principal or reduce his interest rate. And as long as he can pay more and it doesn't put him at risks of his cash flow being too tight, then we can create a win-win. If he can't pay more, it would be hard for it to work. But if he can pay more, there's a way for me to increase the yield while still giving him a much better deal. So anyhow, well, I'm so glad you came on, Kanisha. And
me too. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so especially, I look forward to any leads that your mom can bring through, and because you'll be my first, like, hey, how do you want to participate in this? So let's do it together.
Okay, and I'm definitely gonna work with get the app and just start with the financial calculator. Just running some scenarios and stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. You gotta get that calculator. Because you can't do any of this. There's none of this that I could do and know without this and without T-value. I mean, these two programs, I can't do my business. They're simple programs. They're not expensive. They're not hard to learn how to use, but like I use them every day. Seriously, every day in my business. So
okay.
Yeah, well, super, super great. Now, when can you and I get on the phone again? Is sometime tomorrow? Because I had to cancel on the appointment earlier. I was still in Tahoe.
Okay,
but
tomorrow's good. Whatever time. Yeah.
So should I just
call tomorrow, or just call me?
Okay, I'll call you tomorrow noon after my hair appointment. Is that okay?
That's
I'm
fine.
overdue for a haircut.
Okay, no problem. Look, I'm a hairstylist too, so that's important.
Oh my goodness. Hey, now Chris and Susan, are you on? I don't know how long you've been on.
Yeah, we came in a little bit late, but we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't unmute you sooner. I just barely saw you.
Oh, that's okay. We were just watching, listening. It was very interesting.
Those are some really cool transactions. I like that.
That's pretty fun, huh? Like if I get it, I'm gonna do that deal. But hey, I wanted to ask you guys, just following up on the our North Carolina deal. You got paid off, but and you're going to be getting the note payments straight from the guy. And
Yeah.
you were asking me about you have a tax appointment coming up. So,
No, I already went. We already
oh,
went.
oh shoot. Well, did you need
Um,
more? I pretty
well,
much
I just eventually I'd like to have the one invoice
which
for the 2,500.
oh,
I just have an estimate.
oh, so you didn't get the actual invoice that I paid on that.
Exactly.
Okay,
So
definitely.
that's really I think all that I need because I think I had everything else.
Yeah, we
Okay,
just went over the estimate, so it was all right.
Yeah.
okay, so you got close enough for tax purposes. But yeah, actually, I'll send you everything because I think I still paid another little one yesterday on it. You know, the final water bill or gas bill or whatever it was. So I'll send you everything so you have everything in your records
Okay.
of what happened with the property. But wow, I'm so glad that one finally sold. That
Yeah. Did you have any information on that buyer, like his address or anything?
oh, I'm sure we can. You it wasn't on anything that you got.
Well, what he used was the property address, and I sent some stuff, and I got it back in the mail today.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sure I can get it because on public record, it's got to show it anyway. So you know how it
Okay.
is the mailing address versus the site address.
Right.
But
Yeah. So
absolutely sure we can get that. So let me write a note to myself
okay.
to track down all the invoices and get those to you, and then just the mailing address for the guy. Because yeah, you gotta.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to generate like statements for you to him, monthly things, or
Well, I did that. What I sent him was I generated like a payment coupon and a little letter that told him,
cool? All right.
all that.
It's
And
so
then
easy.
I also did asked for the insurance mortgagee thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that
and
should have been
so,
in, you didn't have that as part of the closing package? You should have
um,
had that. That would have been a condition of closing. So I would be surprised. So let me write these things down. Okay, so I'm gonna follow up on insurance.
I
In
was just following. I mean, I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything yet. Um, and like we haven't got the recorded stuff yet either.
right, that could take 2 or 3 weeks.
They're a little slow in North Carolina.
Yeah, well,
Um,
yeah,
well, it just closed. I
Yeah.
mean,
yeah.
so we're hoping his first payment is due on March 5th.
Uh-huh.
Not the first, it was the 5th. And so um, I'm just hoping that everything just shows up and there. But I wanted to do it like how it comes to me when we have a loan. You get the introduction letter and the letter that says, if you're late, you have to pay. And
Right,
so I
right.
did all that. It turned out pretty nice looking. Chris thought it
What
was pretty
what did you what that's awesome. What did you use? What program?
whatever was, I don't know, Word or something.
Oh,
Whatever I
okay.
had here on the computer,
It looked really good.
All right.
I had some paperwork from a previous loan
Right.
where they had sold, how they sell they're selling
Right,
your
right,
loans
right.
all the time. So
Mhm.
I just kind of pulled from a couple of introductory letters, like the things that I thought were pertinent, and then off of the promissory note, it was like, um,
Oh, that's so cool. And plus since it's principal only, it's not really a hard note to service without
no,
any.
No.
that's what I don't think if he pays a little extra or if it pays off early, I'm pretty good. I
Yeah,
know
I
what to
think
do.
you got that. Yeah.
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 So yeah, but I just I thought it was because I called the lawyer's office and asked, for their mailing address because I thought that was weird that it was the property address, and she said no, that's their mailing address, and I was like,
That
so I
doesn't
sent,
seem right because it's
I,
an investment property.
yeah, I know. So I didn't know if that Showcase Realty would have it,
Yeah,
or
or you know what? Pretty soon, as soon as the recorder's office catches up, it'll be in public record, and I can pull the profile out online.
okay, yeah, that's. I'm hoping, his payment just shows up, but I'd like to I made a little coupon and stuff so that it makes it easy for
Oh,
them.
I would imagine they're gonna just fix the property up and flip it anyway, so
yeah,
Yeah,
probably something will get paid off fairly quick.
I'm
yeah,
hoping.
yeah. Unless
If
he's
not,
keeping
keep
it
an
for a
eye out.
rental. Yeah.
So we're
Well,
gonna keep checking your inbox. If there's anything that comes up, give us a holler, but we'll keep checking your inbox and see what you got up there.
yeah. So you're looking for something around the 30,000-ish, and I think you
It's
know
going
what?
right around 30 for right now.
Yeah, I think you're going to get paid off in the next month or so on one of those Michigan deals, the
Okay.
Clariola. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, they just, I guess the guy, something with his divorce settled up, and he's able to qualify for loans right now. So he's trying to get, to pay less than what he's paying now on a,
Okay.
yeah. So just a heads up on that. I thought that would run a little longer, but, I'm not gonna, I always like it when
Well,
we get our money without like a drama like we had on this one.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, so well then like if we haven't found something else, then if that happens and
Yeah,
we're not.
then you might want to put it in on a little larger note, with
Yeah.
the
Right.
better collateral, um, stuff like
And every month that goes by, we'll add more money to it. So
Yeah, it's just like we have that other note paying, and that bumps it up every month. But we keep doing
we
stuff.
just do stuff with all the notes. We just kind of just keep just reinvesting in another note. So that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, very cool. So, all right, well,
So,
awesome always great to hear from you guys, and I will follow up on those three things I made a note to myself,
oh, okay. And that
tomorrow or
one,
Saturday.
the Michigan one was just interest only, so that's
Yeah.
going to pay off. I'm looking right now to see. I can't keep these things in my head. So,
Yeah, I can't remember how much that one is. Is it 40,
49.
49? Yeah. Hmm.
49.
So
So,
I'm guessing, I mean, obviously I don't know for sure, but he's in the process of getting qualified for a mortgage from a bank.
okay.
Well,
Awesome.
then we'll give it a bigger one or two small ones or three small ones, whatever you got going.
All right, sounds awesome. Well, thank you. Thanks so much for being here, and Kanisha. That was really great. Kanisha's a new gal with us this
Hi,
month.
Kanisha.
Hi. I'm
Later.
just listening to you guys talk. It's so interesting. I'm off work now. I'm in my car, but
Oh,
I'm listening to everybody talk. I'm so excited just
okay.
to know this end of it. I sit and I draw docs and create loans all day. I'm selling to Freddie and Fannie, and now we got to sell to FHLB and Chase and US Bank. I'm on that side of it, but this is the fun side to me.
Yep, no,
So
that's
I'm
pretty
just
cool.
really
It's a lot
excited.
of fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited,
Yeah.
and I look forward to staying in contact with everybody and just learning a lot. And whatever I can bring to the group, I'll definitely bring.
Yeah, so just a little mutual introduction. Kanisha is in the mortgage industry working for a credit union. So she really knows this side of the business, but has just sort of
Wow.
been dancing around the getting involved in notes, whether performing or non-performing, right?
Yeah, I work because the other piece of that is the fact that I work 9 to 5 for somebody else. So, which you do what you got to do when you got to take care of 5 boys. But
Right.
now, I would like to just start really investing and making sure that our future is secure. Because at the end of the day, even though this credit union is fairly small and we're growing, you know, hey, something can happen and I can get laid off,
Right.
but I
Right.
want to make
You
sure
always
that me
want
and
to
my
take
boys
care
are
of
still
yourself.
okay.
Yep, you have to
Yeah.
be responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm looking to just do everything that I can in the business and be one of those sources that people can trust as well.
Yep.
Because there are a lot of sharks in the water. I used to negotiate, short sales and really help borrowers to navigate the loan modification process, and I tell you, the sharks smelled blood in the water. It was horrible.
Oh, that's too
So
bad.
I just want to be one of those people that, some people can trust.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
so you're in the right community here because Dawn
Yeah,
is
I
awesome.
feel it already.
Dawn has the right attitude that she wants to make sure everybody wins, and you can't go wrong with that.
Absolutely, that's me. So I believe in being a vibrational match, so I know I'm in the right place.
There you go.
Well, so awesome. All right. Well, you guys know I love you.
Thank you, Don.
All
I
right.
do love you too.
We'll
Appreciate
put
you.
together a seminar sometime.
I know. I keep saying I'm going to, but then I don't.
When the time's right, you'll do it.
Sign us up when you decide to do it, because I'd love to come to one with you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Thank you for that. And you guys have a good night, and we'll catch you next
Okay, you
time.
too.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good
Have a
night,
good one.
everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.